Hey friends, welcome. March 25th, 2025. What if today Jesus walked in Stamford, Connecticut, not as a figure from ancient texts or just a symbol in stained glass, but as a real living man walking through the streets, seeing what we see, hearing what we ignore, healing what we overlook. In this series, we explore what Jesus would do if he walked among us now in a new city each day. Not for the sake of imagination, but for transformation. You see, I believe if we can see how Jesus would walk in 2025, maybe we'll learn to walk like him too. Today, he is in Stamford, Connecticut. It's a coastal city where high-rise towers and homeless shelters share the same zip code, where faith still flickers behind corporate glass and battered doors alike. Let's walk with Jesus. The sky is streaked with pearl gray clouds as Jesus walks into Cove Island Park before 6:30 a.m. The park is empty except for the occasional jogger and a few seagulls over Holly Pond. He wears a light hoodie and simple jeans. He's not trying to stand out. He's just here to listen. He walks past the Cove Island Wildlife Sanctuary, admiring the stillness. Then, by the water's edge, near the small rock jetty, he kneels. His voice is barely above a whisper. Father, in this city, many are crying silently. Show me where to go. Let every step carry peace. Let every word plant life. He listens longer than he speaks, watching the sunlight begin to shimmer on the surface of the sound. The first warmth of the morning brushes against his face. He smiles slightly. He knows this day will be full. He picks up a small shell, turns it in his palm thoughtfully, and places it on the rock behind him like a prayer left behind. Amen. By 9:45 a.m., Jesus is standing near the entrance of the Stamford Government Center. The sidewalks are packed, signs raised, voices firm. There's a protest underway. The crowd chants, "Homes not hotels. Housing is a right." A woman in her 60s, Carla, catches his attention. Her eyes are tired, her shoulders slumped. Her husband passed away this last year. Her building was bought by investors 2 months ago. The rent jumped 40%. Jesus approaches, places a hand gently on her shoulder, and says, "You are not forgotten. Your pain is not small to heaven." She nods slowly, eyes brimming. Inside the building, Jesus is granted an impromptu meeting with city leaders and a developer lobbying for new luxury condominiums. The tension is thick. Jesus doesn't argue, he just says, "You build towers, but not shelter. You chase profit, but not people. Remember this, every spreadsheet has a soul behind it." A long silence follows. A young assistant lowers his tablet and stares at the floor, moved. He may never look at a zoning plan the same way again. At 12:20 p.m., Jesus walks into Inspirica, the sprawling shelter and service provider on Franklin Street. He's greeted by staff handing out paper gloves and aprons. He doesn't introduce himself. He just joins the line. He dishes out servings of baked chicken, roasted potatoes, and buttered rolls. His eyes meet each person's as he hands them food, not as a server to a client, but soul to soul. He sits with a man named Ray, a former plumber who lost everything after a divorce and health crisis. Ray barely speaks above a whisper. Jesus eats with him in silence. Then he says, "Your story isn't over. You are not trash. You are treasure in hiding. I see your worth, even when you don't." Ray breaks. He hasn't heard kindness in years. The staff notice something's changed. They tell each other about this moment for weeks. Jesus stays afterward, helping wipe tables and mop the floor. To him, no act of service is small. At 2:45 p.m., Jesus walks into the Ferguson Library, Stamford's largest public library. It's warm and quiet inside. He makes his way to the children's room, where a diverse group of kids from Heart Magnet Elementary School are attending a reading session. He volunteers to read. The librarian, surprised, allows this. He reads a story about a lost dog, then sets the book down. "Want to hear a story I know?" he asks. The kids cheer. A girl planted a seed. Nothing grew for days. Her friends laughed, but she kept watering. One day, a tiny sprout came. It grew into the biggest tree in town. Why? Because she believed in something she couldn't yet see. They get it. They really get it. Afterward, a little boy named Noah asks, "Are you magic?" Jesus kneels, smiling. "No, Noah, but love is, and that's something we all have." He leaves a donation to the library, and quietly and anonymously, on the note, it reads, "Thank you for keeping light alive." By 5:30 p.m., Jesus arrives at Stamford Hospital. He doesn't go to the front desk. He walks straight to the psychiatric unit, led by a nurse named Olivia, who simply says, "We need you here." There, he meets Alyssa, a 16-year-old girl with scars on her wrists and silence in her eyes. Her parents visit less and less. She doesn't believe in hope anymore. Jesus pulls a chair beside her bed. No rush, no pressure. "You don't have to feel strong to be loved," he says. "You're allowed to feel broken, but you're not alone. Not now, not ever." She doesn't speak, but when he stands to leave, she finally whispers, "Will you come back tomorrow?" He smiles gently. "I never really left." Later, in the ICU, he prays quietly over a man in a coma. The man's daughter sobs beside the bed. Jesus doesn't make promises, but he lays a hand on the man's heart and simply says, "Peace." It's nearly 9 p.m. The wind has picked up and Jesus walks along the sand at Cummings Beach. The light of Stamford's skyline blinks in the distance. He sits cross-legged on the beach, eyes closed, facing the sea. His final prayer of the day is full of quiet praise and pleading. Father, I saw you in every face today, in the forgotten, in the powerful, in the child, in the despairing. Let them feel you tonight. Stir something in them. Let Stamford know you are still here. He stays there for almost an hour, just watching the water and the stars. One last soul walks by, a man walking his dog. They exchange a nod, and the man suddenly feels lighter. He won't know why. And so the day ends. Jesus didn't headline a revival, and he didn't perform flashy miracles, but he healed in whispers. He restored through presence. He lifted the lonely. He comforted the powerful. This was March 25th, 2025 in Stamford, Connecticut. And tomorrow we'll be in a new city with new needs and new grace. Will you walk with him again tomorrow? Come back. Before you leave today, friends, let's remember that if Jesus still walks among us in 2025, maybe it's time we stop passing him by. Think about that. Before you go, I'd like to offer a prayer for the hopes, needs, and intentions that you hold in your heart on this day. Are you ready? I'll lead. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. That was beautiful. I can't wait to see him tomorrow, my friends. Jesus will be in a new city, and we'll have a whole new story around that event. Don't forget, hug your families. They love you. And I'll be back tomorrow. God bless you, my friends. Goodbye. Bye-bye.